Hi there, welcome to this month's market update, and I'm really sorry it's been a little bit delayed in filming for various reasons, but nonetheless I wanted to make sure that I came to you and gave you thoughts on what had happened in September, and I can give you an idea of course as well about what is happening in the month of October. What you're going to hear from me is me talking about what we can see as being a very normal looking market. So let me just go through some numbers with you. The number of new listings that we brought to market, very, very similar to what it was last year. Actually a bit ahead of where we would have expected it to be in 2018 and 2019. There is certainly a good volume of people looking to list their property. The number of sales and deals agreed, contrary to what you might have read, very similar to what we would have expected to see in a market at this time of year. Very similar as well to what it was last year. The number of viewings that we're carrying out, the number of buyers that we're registering, all very similar to where they would have been in 2018 and 2019. Now look, I know that I've said this in many of my videos before, and I know there's been some skeptical comments as to whether or not this was the case, but all that we are seeing in terms of the numbers that we're looking at in respect of unit numbers, in respect of demand and the supply side of things appears to be just a very normal market. The one anomaly to that, I would say, isn't the volume of reductions that are happening in the market right now. I think we're certainly in a position where people have entered the market, put their properties on at too high a price, and they're having to be forced down to compensate for what is happening with prices. And that brings me nicely on to talking specifically about house prices. I'm going to put something up on the screen now that I think gives you a very clear idea and understanding of exactly where we are. So what you've got here is you've got 4 indexes, each of them with a very or slightly different message, but with the same recurring theme. The first one is Rightmove's asking price index. The second one is the land registry being of course the only source of truth. I'll come back to that in a moment. The Halifax and the Nationwide, all of them are showing a downward trend in prices, but what you have to remember about each of these is they measure slightly different things. The next slide will give you an idea of exactly what that looks like. Here's a graph, or here's a chart, sorry, of all of those indexes and what they're saying. And you can see there's a very, very different message coming out from each of them. As I said with the land registry, that's really the only source of truth. It's the only index that measures the whole of market and measures all of the completed sales that happen in this country. But the current index is only up to the end of June. It's so out of date. So what you're going to see is that index catching up as the months follow. So what's our opinion about what's happened with prices? We think that prices over the course of the last 7, 8, 9 months, pretty much since the mini budget, which you can see from those graphs is the critical moment where the market changed, has fallen by about 6 to 8% now. It may go out another % or 2 more. There's no big crash happening as some people have been predicting. And as I've said a number of times in this video, the market appears to be showing all the signs of just a normal market, normal level of supply, normal level of demand, normal number of buyers registering, and then a normal number of sales agreed on the back of that. What do we expect to happen moving forward? So difficult as always to say. We can't see any obvious headwinds. It looks like the interest rate environment has started to calm down a bit. Inflation is coming under control, which is great. And as long as we don't see any significant changes in that area, there's no reason to expect that we won't just continue along this very normalized pattern that we've started to see. So we'll wind down now as we come towards the end of the year, and there'll be the normal rush to market as we hit 2024, January, February particularly, with the spring being that critical moment. Whether or not prices will rise, difficult to say at this time. We have got the government who are going to need to call an election at some point, and normally they will do what they can to try and force the housing market to show some signs of growth. Whether they'll be able to do that or not is way beyond my ability to answer. But as always, I'll stay in touch with you through these videos. I'll tell you what's happening across our market. Thank you as always for watching. Please remember to subscribe and hit the like button if you've got all the way to this point, and thank you for watching.